Good morning. Let us continue with Indian polity introduction. So that's the reason I have titled this as part 2. We'll go ahead with this. Yesterday we have seen what is constitution. Yesterday we also understood what is the meaning of the parliament. And yesterday we have also seen what is the meaning of the state legislature. And before that also we have understood that what is the meaning of the government. So we understood that the government is nothing but legislature, executive, and judiciary. So legislature will make the laws, executive, that is the ministers and headed by the prime minister, they will implement these laws. And when it comes to the judiciary, judiciary will interprets the law. So this is what we have understood yesterday. And while talking about the parliament, I told you, parliament is nothing but Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, and the President of India. So in the absence of any of these three, I cannot use the word parliament. So this is what we have seen till yesterday. And we also understood what is the meaning of the Lok Sabha, how many members are present in the Lok Sabha. Now let us continue our discussion. Let me open the document for you and we'll try to see so what exactly the other points are there with respect to the parliament. So let me come here. Yesterday we have seen till this place, that is Lok Sabha. Now let me talk to you something about this Rajya Sabha. Just like this Lok Sabha, so there is another house that is called the Rajya Sabha. And kindly remember one point, the constitution has mentioned the word Council of States instead of using the word Rajya Sabha. In the constitution we will see the word Council of States, but either it is upper house or the Rajya Sabha, it's a very commonly used word. Again, same thing, yesterday I told you, at least at one place, please mention the words Council of States in the examination. And the remaining areas, if you want to mention Rajya Sabha or the upper house, right, that's okay for the examiner. Now, so in this Rajya Sabha, if you look at this, the constitution permitted the maximum strength is 250. What is the meaning of the strength? I told you yesterday itself. So the maximum strength is 250, but at today's strength it is 245. That is the present strength. Out of this 245, 233 members are elected and the remaining 12 members are nominated by the President of India. Kindly, whenever I am speaking certain things, recollect the old points also. Yesterday I was telling you, the President of India may nominate not more than 2 members who belong to the Anglo-Indian community to the Lok Sabha. In the similar manner, there is a provision in the constitution where the President of India nominates not more than 12 members to the Rajya Sabha. But unlike Lok Sabha, this nomination is not coming from a particular community. Lok Sabha, we made it very clear, they are coming only from the Anglo-Indian community. But when it comes to this Rajya Sabha, the constitution permitted the President of India to nominate not more than 12 members. So these are the people who are with the special knowledge or practical experience in the fields like science, arts, literature, or social service. So from any of these 4 fields, the President may nominate to the Rajya Sabha. Again, kindly remember, India is a country where we talk about the parliamentary form of government. So whenever I use the word parliamentary form of government, the President is the nominal head, the Prime Minister is the real head. Every appointment under the Constitution is made by the President of India, but the President is advised by the Council of Ministers headed by the Prime Minister. That is the reason why we give lots of importance to the Prime Minister. Now let me come back to this Rajya Sabha. So that not more than 12 members are nominated, and these 12 members belong to special knowledge category, are the people with practical experience in 4 different fields like science, arts, literature, or social service. And when you come to this other half, 233 members, the remaining 233 members of the Rajya Sabha, they are elected. Yesterday also I have used the word elected for the Lok Sabha. During that time I was very clear. I mentioned it is the direct election. But here today I am using the word indirect election. What is the meaning of this? The Rajya Sabha members are elected by elected members of the state legislative assemblies. Assemblies are present in the states, and in those assemblies we have some members, and they are called MLAs, members of legislative assemblies. And when you look at each assembly that is present in India, the strength of assembly will vary from state to state. It is because there is a variation in the population, meaning the representation in any house should be in proportion to the population. As the population is larger, the representation should also be larger. If the population is smaller, the representatives will also be in smaller number. That is the reason, look at Uttar Pradesh. The population is more than 20 crores. Latest. As far as the 2011 census is concerned, it is a 19 crores plus. Hence, the number of MLAs in that particular assembly, today it is 403. Similarly, if you go to a state called Sikkim, the population is so small and the representatives are also 32 in number in Sikkim assembly. Similarly, if you look at Goa, 40 MLAs are present. It shows that the number of MLAs will vary from state to state based on the population. And apart from these MLAs who are elected, kindly remember, MLAs are elected by the people of that particular state. And apart from these MLAs, the constitution also permits the governor of the state, wherein the governor may nominate not more than one Anglo-Indian to the legislative assembly. In some states, you may have an Anglo-Indian member who is nominated, or you may not have. That all depends on the interest of the governor of the state as advised by the chief minister of the concerned state. But here I am talking to you about Rajya Sabha. In Rajya Sabha, the members, 233 members are elected by elected members of state legislative assembly. Kindly remember this particular point. I am not using the word all the members of the assembly. I am just saying Rajya Sabha members are elected by elected members of the state legislative assemblies. If the nominated member is present, that nominated member is not permitted to vote in the election of the Rajya Sabha. Meaning, the people of a state are electing MLAs. Those MLAs in turn, they are electing the members of the Rajya Sabha. Hence, Rajya Sabha elections are called indirect elections. Kindly remember, whenever I am talking about a Lok Sabha member, we have direct relation with this Lok Sabha member because we are voting in the election. But whereas in the Rajya Sabha elections, we are not voting directly. We are electing MLAs, and those MLAs are electing Rajya Sabha members. Hence, it is called indirect election. Hopefully, I am clear now. regarding the direct election and the indirect election. Now let me come back to Rajya Sabha. The present strength is 245. Out of that, 233 members are elected by the elected members of the state legislative assemblies, and the remaining 12 members are nominated by the President of India. Am I clear? Now, let me open the document. I'll show you some points. Then I will go further. Look at this. Rajya Sabha is the upper house of the parliament. Yes, we know this. It is also called the Council of States. Yes, this is what is mentioned in the constitution. The strength of Rajya Sabha should not exceed 250 members. Look at this. These 200, out of these 238 members are elected from the states and union territories in proportion to the population of the concerned state. If you have the maximum strength of 250, out of that 238 are coming from states and union territories. I'm moving further. Have a look at this. These 238 members, kindly see it. Today we have only 233. If the strength is 250, the number of elected members will be 238. These 238 members are elected indirectly. Indirect election means, I gave it to here, the people of the state do not vote, but the representatives of the people will vote on behalf of the people. That is the meaning of the so-called indirect election. Look at this. Look at this. I'm highlighting this now. The Rajya Sabha members are elected by the elected members of the state assemblies. Kindly remember this very, very important point. In the examination, when you are writing about the Rajya Sabha members, if you are writing something about their election, you have to mention that Rajya Sabha members are elected by the elected members of the state assemblies. And after writing elected members, kindly look at this. I have underlined this word elected members. In the examination, you also kindly underline it, meaning you are highlighting the point to the examiner so that the person who is evaluating your paper, he will understand that you have the complete knowledge of this particular area. Hence, there is a possibility of the positive signs and some additional marks, maybe half mark, that may be added to your score. This is how you are going to get more score in the examination. Look at this. There is a nominated member, one Anglo-Indian. So there is one Anglo-Indian person who is present in the assembly, there may be, and that person is not permitted to vote in the Rajya Sabha elections. Kindly note here, I give you one point. Already I told you, the governor of the state nominates not more than one Anglo-Indian to the state assembly. Is that clear? Right. Look at this, some simple point I have given. Just remember these points, fundamental things. How many Anglo-Indians are nominated by the president to the Lok Sabha? Not more than 2. How many Anglo-Indians are nominated by the governor to the assembly? It is not more than 1. Just remember this. And the remaining 12 members of the Rajya Sabha are the persons with the special knowledge. These are the persons with the special knowledge or practical experience. I'm just adding it here, or practical experience. So where? So these are the people who have this experience or special knowledge in these fields, and they are nominated by the president. And the president nominates some members from different categories like, kindly remember this, science, arts, literature, and social service. So from these 4 areas, the president will be nominating the members to the Rajya Sabha. Kindly remember, in the examination, they may ask you from which of the following fields the president nominates some members to the Rajya Sabha. Hence, remember, science, arts, literature, or social service. Next, I'm shifting to the some other point here. So let me tell you what is the what is the function of the so-called the parliament. See, yesterday I was telling you in government we have the so-called legislature, executive, and the judiciary. And when it comes to this legislature, there is union legislature and the state legislature. But I am talking to you about the union legislature, which is called the parliament. What is parliament? We have understood Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, and the president. Kindly remember, in the Lok Sabha, what is the strength we have seen? In the Rajya Sabha, what is the strength we have seen? Another point I would like to add to you now. Kindly remember, the president of India is a part of the parliament, but the president is not a member of the parliament. Kindly remember this very, very important point. In fact, he is not a member, but he is a part of the parliament. That is the reason when I am talking about 545 or 245 in the Rajya Sabha, I am not including the president of India. Excluding the president, it is 545 plus 245. Now let me tell you what are the functions of the parliament. See, when it comes to parliament, the most important function is it is a legislation making body. I told you already it's a legislature. Legislature is nothing but it's an institution where laws are made. I told you already we use the word laws or acts or legislations. There is a slight difference over a period of time. Let's understand what is the meaning of what is the difference between these three words. But otherwise, for now, take it for granted. Legislature is a law making body. Law is nothing but again a set of rules. Once it is a rule, it will be implemented. I told you yesterday also, we have Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, National Food Security Act. So many things are there. And those things will be implemented. Next, let's see what exactly is the parliament does. Kindly see here, during the parliament sessions which are happening now, the both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha members will sit together, they will discuss together, they will decide certain things. Meaning, in order to make a law, we need to follow certain procedures. So, what are those procedures? Kindly remember, law is the ultimate, and once the law is made, that law can be implemented. Law is made by the legislature, law will be implemented by the executive. Am I clear? That is the reason why both the things are important, but executive will implement certain things only after a law is made by the parliament. Now let me tell you how exactly the parliament will make the laws. You might have come across with the word that is called bill. So many times you might have come across with that. Whenever I use the word a bill, it is nothing but a proposal. Proposal is nothing but it's an initiative taken by one of the members in the Lok Sabha or one of the members in the Rajya Sabha, and he wants to propose something so that on that proposal, the remaining members of the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha will be discussing and they will be deciding. If all the members will accept either with a special majority or simple majority, then that particular proposal will become a law. And whenever I am talking about this proposal, kindly remember the proposal may be initiated either in the Lok Sabha or in the Rajya Sabha. But at the end of the day, once it is accepted by the president, once it is accepted by Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha, the president will give his assent. He will give his consent. He will put his signature on that particular bill. Then only the bill will become an act. Kindly remember, it's a very frequently asked question in the examination. A bill becomes a law only when, only when the president gives his assent. In the absence of the assent of the president, a bill will never become a law. Now, let me open the document. I'll show the document to you. We'll have a discussion on this. Look at this. The basic function of the parliament is framing the legislations. That is nothing but law making. This is done by the parliament by passing the bills. How? Let's try to understand how it is going to happen. A bill is introduced in the parliament, and after the discussion and voting by the two houses, and with the assent of the president, the bill becomes a law. Very, very important here. Only with the assent of the president, the bill becomes a law. Kindly have a look at this. Just a moment. I'll just give it to you now. Let me just show it to you. Kindly have concentration only here. First, you read and understand this particular point. A bill is introduced in the parliament. Parliament means Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha. And after introducing in the parliament, there will be a discussion. And after the discussion, voting will take place. And after the whole process is completed by the two houses, then only it will go to the President of India, and the President will give his assent, and it becomes a law. Hopefully you are following this. Now look at this. So look at this one. I am highlighting it here. Kindly have a look at this. Very, very clear. These points are very, very important for us to understand the whole constitution in a better manner. Now, when I am talking about a bill can be introduced in the Lok Sabha. Kindly look at only that particular area, what has been highlighted on the screen. Okay. Now, a bill can be introduced in the Lok Sabha, and after that, it will be going to the Rajya Sabha. After that, it goes to the President of India, and with the assent of the President, a bill will become a law. This is procedure number 1. But here I have given something that is called R. Either you follow the first procedure, or we are following the procedure number 2. Meaning, a bill may be introduced first in the Rajya Sabha, then it will go to Lok Sabha, then it goes to the President of India, and then it becomes a law. Meaning, by looking at these two statements, we have understood. By looking at these two statements, we have understood that a bill can be introduced first either in the Lok Sabha or in the Rajya Sabha. If it is Lok Sabha first, then it will go to Rajya Sabha. If it is introduced in the Rajya Sabha first, then it will go to Lok Sabha. Meaning, a bill must pass through both the houses of the parliament, and then only it will come to the President of India. So President is coming at the end always. And only with the signature of the President of India, a bill will become a law. Hopefully I'm clear. Now, let me add one more point to you. Sometimes during our discussions or in the newspaper, you will come across with certain words called first house and the second house. Kindly remember, there is nothing like any first house and second house. This is a general term what we use when we are talking about the parliaments. If a bill is first introduced in the Lok Sabha, then Lok Sabha will become the first house and Rajya Sabha becomes the second house. But sometimes a bill may be first introduced in the Rajya Sabha. During that time, Rajya Sabha will become the first house and Lok Sabha will become the second house. Clear? So depending on the situation, we'll be using the words either the first house or the house number 2, that is the second house. Now I'm opening it here. Look at this. So like this, a bill will be introduced. At the end of the day, the president comes into the picture and it will become a law. Meaning, look at this, the last point I'm highlighting. It means a bill becomes a law only with the assent of the president. Without the assent of the president, a bill will never become a law. Kindly remember this. Okay. Now, When it comes to this, what is a bill? Let's understand. We have understood certain points like we are preparing a bill and introducing a bill. Kindly remember, each bill must be introduced. After introduction, discussion will take place. After discussion, voting will take place. Voting is a mechanism through which we will come to know whether the bill is accepted by majority of the members or not. Majority is again of two kinds, simple majority and special majority. Let us try to understand after some time, but let's understand first of all what is a bill. I told you this one. A bill is a proposal. Now, what are the categories of the bills here? Look at this. So when I'm talking about the bills in the house, we always talk the bills in two categories. One category is called public bill and the other category is called private bill. Kindly remember, in Lok Sabha you have 545 and in Rajya Sabha you have 245 members. Anybody can introduce a bill in the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. But the condition is that if a bill is introduced by a minister, that bill is called public bill. During your readings in the newspapers, you will come across with the word public member. Public member is a person who is a minister. That is the reason, if you look at some of the examples today, the Prime Minister is a public member, our Finance Minister is a public member, Rural Development Minister, Agriculture Minister, HRD Minister, Defense Minister, Home Minister, these are all the public members. Meaning a public member is a minister. I am not talking about the party. In coalition governments, we have two or more than two parties. The person may be coming from any party, but we are interested to know whether he is a minister or not. If he is a minister, he is called public member. And if that public member introduces a proposal in the house, then that bill is called public bill. For example, here, Arun Jaitley has introduced some bills. These are all public bills. Venkaiah Naidu will introduce. And Sushma Swaraj will introduce. If they are introducing these bills, they are called public bills. But the Constitution is also permitting that other members who are not ministers may also introduce the proposals. If they are introducing these bills, those bills are called private bills. I'll just repeat it for better understanding. A public bill is a proposal which is introduced by a minister. A private bill is a proposal which is introduced by a member who is not a minister. Simple points. And kindly remember another point. A public member can introduce the bill in either of the houses of the parliament. Hence, he can introduce a bill either in the Lok Sabha or in the Rajya Sabha. Latest examples also we have seen. Very recently, after the formation of the government, the NDA government has introduced the budget. And that budget was introduced by the Finance Minister of India, Mr. Arun Jaitley. And Arun Jaitley has introduced the budget in the Lok Sabha. But if you look at the membership of Arun Jaitley, he is a member of the Rajya Sabha. Only the ministers are permitted to attend both the houses of the parliament. Only public members are permitted to attend both the houses of the parliament. They can introduce the bills. They can speak in the any house of the parliament. But when it comes to the private members, private member is a person who is not a minister. Hence, a private member is permitted to speak only in that house where he has the membership. A private member is a person who is permitted to introduce a private bill only in that house where he has the membership. For example, here, let me tell you one small example. Every one of you must be knowing Sachin Tendulkar. Today, Sachin Tendulkar is a Rajya Sabha member. Because he is not a minister, he is a private member. If he wants to introduce any bill, he can introduce, but he will be introducing the bill only in the Rajya Sabha, not in the Lok Sabha. And if you look at Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi, these two are the private members. They are not the ministers. If they want to propose anything, any bill in the Lok Sabha, they are very much permitted, but only in the Lok Sabha, they are not permitted to introduce any bill in the Rajya Sabha. Hopefully, I'm clear regarding this. These are the basic points. Kindly remember this. That's the reason why I'm taking enough time to explain these things, so that these things will be understood to you in a better manner, and it becomes easy for you in future to understand so many things. Now, I'm moving to the document here. Look at this. So depending on who introduces the bill may be divided into two categories. Look at this: public bills, private bills. Remember, the bills are introduced only by the members of the parliament and not by a non-member. Kindly remember this. This is another important point. A non-member is a person who does not have representation in the Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha. For example, see, let me just tell you one point. Sometime back, there was a serious discussion in India with respect to the Jan Lokpal bill. So that Jan Lokpal bill is a proposal that was prepared by the civil society in India, and that group was headed by Anna Hazare. You must be knowing this. So being the citizen of India, he can propose, or you or me, anybody can propose anything to the government or to any member in the parliament. But when it comes to the introduction, what do you mean by introduction? First of all, introduction is nothing but reading out the contents that are present in the bill. Reading out is nothing but the presentation, right? But if you remember this one, Anna Hazare, he was not permitted to introduce the bill. Of course, he was not a member. Had he been a member of the parliament, he would have presented the bill on his own. But this is a proposal or an idea that was given by this civil society to the government or to the members of the parliament. Then only the bill was introduced, and that bill was introduced only by the member of the parliament. That is the point here. Outsiders cannot introduce. But if we want to recommend anything to the government, if we want to recommend anything to any member of the parliament, people of the country are permitted, but we are not permitted to enter into the house, and we are not permitted to introduce any bill. That is a basic point. Okay. Next, look at this, and kindly see here. So I would like to add one more point. I'll just add it here. The members who are present in the parliament, they are called MPs. They are called members of the parliament. You might have heard this so many times. But I would like to add just one thing here. Sometimes there is a confusion among some of the members in our community, that is students community. There is a little confusion regarding this. Kindly remember, when I use the word member of the parliament, he may be a member of the Lok Sabha or he may be a member of the Rajya Sabha. For example, see here, if I say Arun Jaitley is a member of the parliament, Meaning, I have Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, and I am very sure he is a member in one of these houses. That's the reason if I use the word member of parliament, there is nothing wrong in it. But if I want to make it so specific, then I can say Arun Jaitley is a member of Rajya Sabha. Both are correct, there is nothing wrong. But generally we use the word member of the parliament. Number one. Similarly, Sachin Tendulkar is a member of parliament, or Sachin Tendulkar is a member of the Rajya Sabha. Both the statements are correct. Rahul Gandhi is a member of the Lok Sabha. Rahul Gandhi is a member of the parliament. Both the statements are correct. Kindly don't get confused when you come across with the word member of the parliament. Most of the times, some students think that whenever I use the word member of parliament, we are referring only to the Lok Sabha. We are not referring only to the Lok Sabha. We are referring it to both the houses of the parliament. Hopefully, I'm clear. Next, again, I'm going back to the document. Look at this now. So the bills are introduced only by the members of the parliament and not by a non-member. And we have some more points. Kindly have a look at this. Public bills. Look at this public bills again. Just understand this. Already I told you. The bills that are introduced by the ministers are called public bills. I told you this. What is the meaning of this, right? And another point I would like to add. Any member of the parliament may become a minister. Kindly remember this. Any member of the parliament. That is the meaning. Any member from the Lok Sabha or any member from the Rajya Sabha can become a minister. If you want, you can look at so many examples here. Narendra Modi is the Prime Minister of India. He is a member of the Lok Sabha. If you look at Arun Jaitley, he is a minister today, finance minister, but he is a member of Rajya Sabha. Defense minister is a member of Rajya Sabha. Sushma Swaraj, the external affairs minister, she is a member of the Lok Sabha. Meaning, a person is expected to be a member of either of the houses of the parliament to be appointed as a minister. That is point number one. Meaning, any member from either Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha may be appointed as a minister. Number one. The constitution is also permitting a person to be appointed as a minister, though he is not a member of the parliament. If a person is not a member of the parliament, even then he can be appointed as a minister. But the constitution has laid down a condition that if a person who is not a member of the parliament is appointed as a minister, he must become a member before the expiry of 6 months from the date of appointment. That is the reason, if you look at this, the defense minister Manohar Parrikar, in fact, he was the chief minister for Goa. Later, he has been asked very recently, last month we have seen, he has been appointed as a defense minister. At that time, he was neither a member of the Lok Sabha nor a member of the Rajya Sabha. But immediately after that, he became a member of the Rajya Sabha. Meaning is simple, kindly remember, person should be either, a minister should be either a member of the Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. If not, he should become a member of either of the houses before the expiry of 6 months from the date of appointment as the minister. That is the point. Okay. Now, again, let me come back to the document. Now look at this. So private bills are those bills that are introduced by the members other than the ministers, and they are called the private bills. Okay. Now, I'm going to the next point. Look at this. We have already seen certain things that is called, depending on who is introducing the bill, the bills are of two categories. One is the private bill, second one is the public bill. Now, we are coming to the next step where I am going to talk to you regarding, depending on the nature of the bill, The bills are classified into three categories. Depending on nature of introduction, there are two categories. But depending on the nature of bills means depending on the content of the bill, what exactly is present in the bills, depending on that one, it is categorized into three categories here: ordinary bills, money bills, and constitution amendment bills. But kindly remember one point: bill is nothing but a proposal. That proposal may be in the ordinary form, the proposal may be related to the money, the proposal may be related to the constitution amendment. Yesterday I told you amendment is nothing but the modification of the constitution, meaning the constitution itself has given a provision, procedure, how to amend the constitution, how to modify the constitution. If you want to modify the constitution, again a bill has to be introduced in the parliament. It should be passed by both the houses, then it will go to the president. President will sign, then only that is considered to be amendment of the constitution. Hopefully I'm clear. And for that also you need to introduce a bill, and that bill is called the constitution amendment bills. Okay, now so let me tell you a few points here. What is the difference between ordinary bill, money bill, and the constitution amendment bills? Kindly see here, I told you what is the meaning of the constitution amendment bills just now. Let me tell you a few points before I go further. Sometimes we'll come across with the words statutory bodies and the constitutional bodies. For example, so many times you might have come across with the words the President of India, the Prime Minister, the Supreme Court, the High Court, Election Commission, Union Public Service Commission. These are all considered to be the constitutional bodies, means they are mentioned within the Constitution. And apart from this, we have certain bodies called statutory authorities. Statutory authorities are those authorities which are created by passing a legislation in the parliament. They are not mentioned in the constitution, but still they play very crucial role with respect to India. But how they are created? They were created by passing a legislation in the parliament. Examples here, we have National Human Rights Commission. That National Human Rights Commission is a statutory authority, means that was created by passing a bill in the parliament. Similarly, you have LIC, Life Insurance Corporation. Similarly, you have the RBI, Reserve Bank of India. IRDA, Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority. TROI, TRAI, TROI, you must be knowing this. Telecom Regulatory Authority of India. SEBI, Securities and Exchange Board of India. Like this, there are various institutions that are present in India which are created by the parliament, and they are called statutory authorities. Statutory authorities are not mentioned in the constitution. If they are mentioned in the constitution, they are called constitutional authorities. Hopefully I'm clear. Now, let me talk to you a few points regarding the ordinary bill, money bill, and constitution amendment bills. Now, it will become easy for you to understand. First, let me tell you one or two points regarding the concept of money bills. On day-to-day basis, the government of India, rather the government of any state, they have to keep on spending the money. Without spending money, the people will suffer, and without spending money, the developmental activities will not take place. But how the government will spend the money? How the ministers will spend the money? Ministers will spend the money only after it is permitted by the parliament. If the parliament is not accepting, the ministers cannot spend the money. That is the reason every year you will come out with a concept called budget. Or normally other times also the ministers will come out with the concept of money bills. Whenever I use the word money bill, it is a proposal that is coming from the government. It is a proposal that is coming from the ministers, wherein they are requesting the members of the parliament to accept for the proposal of spending the money, and that money will be used for the welfare of the people. If any proposal comes to the parliament for spending the money, that proposal is called money bill. Number two, the government just does not spend the money. The government will also collect the money from the people, and collection is nothing but that will become the revenue part of the government. We all pay the taxes in various formats. And when it comes to the collection of the taxes, the government cannot directly collect the taxes from the people. The government has to take the permission from the parliament. If the parliament is accepting, then only taxes can be collected from the people. For that reason, again, they have to come to the parliament. They have to introduce a bill. Because they are collecting money from the people, that bill is called money bill. That bill will be voted in the parliament. If it is passed, it will be signed by the President of India. Then only the government is permitted to collect the money from the people. Hence, money bill is a proposal which talks about either expenditure or income or both. This is the basic idea of the money bills. Hopefully, I'm clear. That is number one. Kindly remember one more point. Let me add it regarding money bill. Money bills will be proposed, or money bills will be introduced only by a public member. Remaining bills can be introduced by either public member or private member. But when it comes to the money bills are introduced only by a public member. Okay. Now, this is number one. When it comes to the Constitution Amendment Bill, what is the meaning of this? Kindly pay a lot of attention onto these points. So these points will give you enough idea and lots of confidence whenever you are reading anything about the parliament. Now, when it comes to this Constitution Amendment Bills, the Constitution Amendment Bills are those proposals which are nothing but for the modification of the Constitution. For example, here, in the original Constitution, there is nothing like any concept called fundamental duties. Fundamental rights were mentioned in the Constitution, but fundamental duties were not mentioned in the Constitution. But over a period of time, the fundamental duties have been added to the Constitution. Hence, today, if you open the Constitution, Part 4A and Article 51A, it mentions about the fundamental duties that are present. Something was not present, but it has been added over a period of time. How do you add it? You can add this by modifying the Constitution. That is nothing but amending the Constitution. Hence, if you want to modify the Constitution, because it is the beginning of our classes, I am using the word modification. Over a period of time, I'll be just using the word amendment itself. So if you want to amend the Constitution, again, a bill has to be proposed in the parliament. Once the bill is accepted, President will sign, then it will become a law. Hopefully, I'm clear regarding this. Now, the next point. For example, here, fundamental duties are added to the Constitution through an amendment, 42nd Amendment. Similarly, when you talk about the fundamental rights, today in the Constitution we have 6 fundamental rights. But originally the number was 7. Over a period of time, in the year 1978, through the 44th Amendment, one of the fundamental rights has been deleted. For that reason, again an amendment bill was proposed that was accepted by the parliament, and accordingly, the one of the fundamental rights has been deleted. For example, Panchayati Raj was not mentioned in the constitution. Municipalities was also not mentioned in the constitution. Later it was added. It was added through amending the constitution. 73rd and 74th amendments. Whatever the points I am telling you now, we are going to have an elaborate discussion in the future. So this is the basic idea. Meaning we understood that if we want to add anything, excuse me, if you want to add anything to the constitution, a proposal must come before the parliament in the form of constitution amendment bill. Number one, amendment is nothing but adding certain things to the constitution. Number two, deleting certain things from the constitution. It is called amendments. Number three, modification of something which is already existing is also called an amendment. Hence, either it is addition or deletion or modifying something existing which is already present in the constitution is called the amendment of the constitution. So we understood what is the meaning of money bills. We also understood what is the meaning of the constitution amendment bills. And the third category is the ordinary bill. And ordinary bill is that bill if it is not money bill and constitution amendment bill. Any other proposal, if you are not talking about money, if you are not talking about the amendment of the constitution, then it is called the ordinary bills. Examples here, we have created so many institutions. Just now I told you, NHRC, IRDA, SEBI, so many things. All these institutions are created through ordinary bills. Ordinary bill was introduced, ordinary bill was passed, and we have created the institutions. Hopefully I'm clear now. Now let me come back to the document and we'll continue the discussion. Look at this now. So ordinary bills, money bills, and constitution amendment bills. Look at this. According to the nature of the bill, a bill may be passed by the simple majority or it may be passed by the special majority. Kindly see here. In the above, I have given you three bills: ordinary bills, money bills, and constitution amendment bills. Every bill has to be discussed, every bill has to be voted, and every bill has to be passed. Then only it will go to the President of India. Voting is a mechanism to take the decision from the House. That voting may be in the form of simple majority or special majority. What do you mean by this? Simple majority or special majority? Before going further, let me tell you just one point here. The constitution is saying that if this ordinary bill and money bill, I am highlighting this, if ordinary bills and money bills, if they are passed with a simple majority, that is enough. That is enough. But when it comes to the constitution amendment bills, they must be passed by the special majority. What is the meaning of this? Let us try to understand now. Look at this. According to the nature of the bill may be passed by the simple majority or by the special majority. Look at this. Look at this. I'm just adding it here. Simple majority means at least half of the members must present and voting. Half of the members present and voting and supporting the bill. Now, let me add certain points to you like this. Now, see here. For example, see here, when it comes to ordinary bill, I'll just tell you what is the meaning of simple majority. Now, imagine a situation. So we are discussing and we are voting on the so-called ordinary bill. If you want to pass this with a simple majority, what is the procedure? Say, for example, we are there in the Lok Sabha and a bill has been introduced and it should be passed with a simple majority. Remember, the strength of Lok Sabha is 545. And out of this 545, we cannot expect every person to be present on each day and every day of the parliament session. No, it will not happen. Sometimes you will see only few members will be present in the Lok Sabha. But when it comes to the simple majority, how many members are present on that particular day is not at all important for us. But in the constitution, we have a provision called quorum. Out of the total strength of the Lok Sabha, at least 1/10 members must be present on any day. At any given point of time, at least 1/10 members must present. Hence, out of 545, minimum 55 members must be present in the Lok Sabha at any point of time. Then only the parliamentary proceedings will happen. Proceedings means the regular business, the regular activities of the parliament. If it is less than 1/10, then the session is not permitted to, that particular day session is not permitted to continue. And the speaker will suspend the house for the day. But kindly remember, minimum strength what I require is 1/10. Hence, in Lok Sabha, the minimum strength what I require is 55. In the similar manner, in the Rajya Sabha, minimum strength what I require is 25. Okay, that's the reason. Say, for example, if 545 members are present, out of that, if you look at the simple majority, it is nothing but 545 divided by 2 plus 1. Hence, that will become 273 will become my simple majority. Let me open the document and let me type a few points here for our better understanding. I am talking to you regarding the simple majority. Say, for example, if 545 members are present, then my simple majority will become 273. How did I get this 273? Simple. 543 make into half. Half plus 1, that will become the simple majority. Simple here. Imagine there are 500 members that are present in the parliament. Now, can you please tell me what is the simple majority? 500 divided by 2 plus 1, meaning 251. That will become the simple majority for me. In the sense, when I have 500 members in the Lok Sabha, I don't require the support from all the 500 members, because different parties, different people may have different opinions. That's the reason why I don't require everybody's support, but minimum support I require is a 251 if the number of members present at the time of voting is 500. Imagine a situation on that particular day, say for example 400 members are present. Now can you tell me what is the simple majority? Is it 201? Yes, it is 201. Right? In the similar manner, if I have say for example 100 members also, clear, 100 members also I can go for the voting, but I require the support of the 51. Now can you please tell me, on that particular day only 50 members are present, can I go for voting? Obviously no, the constitution is not permitting it, because in the Lok Sabha the minimum quorum is nothing but, here kindly remember this word, it is a quorum. Quorum is nothing but, it is equal to 1/10 of the total. Very, very important. Just remember this. This is a 1/10 of the total. In the absence of this, you cannot go ahead. So hence, if the strength is 50, it is less than 1/10 of the strength of the Lok Sabha. Hence, during that time, so this particular provision is not applicable, and we cannot go ahead with the voting here. Very, very important. Hopefully, I'm clear. And now you know what is the meaning of the simple majority. Very frequently you will come across with this in the newspapers, and this is the meaning of the simple majority. Hopefully I'm clear. Now I'm going to the next point. That is a special majority. So let me finish up this special majority also here. Now, before coming to this special majority, let me tell you a few points here regarding special majority. The name itself is indicating the special majority. So obviously it should be above the simple majority. Number one, we understood simple majority in a very clear-cut manner. The chapter is over. Now I am talking to you regarding the special majority. There are certain conditions in the special majority. And what are these conditions? These conditions are nothing but in that concerned house, whenever we are going for voting on any bill which requires a special majority. I told you already, constitution amendment bills are voted by special majority. And that special majority is nothing but at the time of going for voting, you need to have at least 50% of the members to be present on the house, on the floor. In simple majority, minimum strength is, I told you already, that is 1/10. But when it comes to the special majority, out of the total, minimum 50% of the members must present. And out of that 50% here, minimum is 50. If 55% is present, 60, 70, 80, 90, or 100% is also present, they are most welcome, no issues. But the minimum requirement is 50%. And after that, when we go for this voting, it should be accepted by minimum 2/3 of the members who are present and voting. That is step number 2. Step number 1, minimum presence I require is the 50% of the total. Number 2, out of the present and voting, the bill should be accepted by 2/3 of the members. Number 3, very, very important, whatever the result you are getting after it is voted by minimum 2/3, that result should not be less than 50% of the total strength of the house. That is the meaning of the special majority. That is the reason sometimes it becomes very difficult for the government even to pass the constitution amendment bills, because you require 50% of the strength, because you require 2/3 of the members voting for the bill, and this 2/3 should not be less than the so-called 50% of the total strength of the house. So this is the meaning of the special majority. Now let me explain you once again. I'll come on to the document. Now please understand, I want you to understand this one very seriously. For example, look at this, 545 members are present. I'm talking about the Lok Sabha. If 545 members are present, can I go for voting? Yes, the minimum requirement is minimum 50%, but I have 100%. And out of that, it should be accepted by the 2/3. Minimum 2/3 must accept. Right? So maybe example, I'm writing it here. I think this is like 363 example. And if it is accepted by minimum 363, that is considered to be accepted. But if the particular strength on that day is 500, can I go for the voting? Yes, I can go for the voting, because the strength that is present is more than 50%. And out of this, if I am getting this 2/3 here, I am getting some number. Is it okay? Some number here. And if it is above, and if it is above this 2/3 of this 500, we are getting something like 330 or something. 330 here, example I'm writing. And can it be considered as passed? Yes, it is considered as passed. It is because whatever the number you are getting here, this number should not be less than 50% of the total. That is the reason why if I am getting any support of above 273, then that is considered to be passed. Is that okay? Very, very important. Now, again, I am going here. Imagine a situation, you have this 400 members. And out of this, again, I am going for the 2/3. Clear? And if you calculate this one, is it considered to be passed or not? In the similar manner, if I have the 300 members, imagine a situation, out of this, if you are getting exactly 2/3, Can it be considered as passed? So the answer will be again no here. But if I have 300 members, if it is voted, it should be accepted by minimum 273 members. This is the very, very important point. Hence, if you look at the above, I may say it has been passed because it is accepted by minimum 273 members. Meaning, number one, minimum 50% must be present on the floor. Number two, minimum it should be accepted by two-thirds of the members. And that two-thirds should not be less than 50% of the total. That is the reason in the last one, if you look at, out of 300, if I'm getting only two-thirds, that will be less than 273. Then it is considered to be passed. But if only 300 members are present, even then we can pass the Constitution Amendment Bill, provided it should be voted by 273 members for the bill. That is the meaning of the so-called the special majority. Kindly remember, it is little difficult to understand, but most of you might have understood by now. This is the whole idea. Wherever you come across with the word special majority, this is the meaning of this. Now again, I'm going further. We have ordinary bills, right? Look at this. When it comes to ordinary bills, an ordinary bill can be first introduced in the Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. Very, very important. It can be introduced first either in the Lok Sabha or in the Rajya Sabha. And I'm talking to you only regarding ordinary bills. We understood what is ordinary, what is money, what is constitution amendment bills. An ordinary bill can be introduced by a public member or by a private member. We know what is the meaning of this. Prior recommendation of the president is not required to introduce an ordinary bill. See here, when I'm talking about the prior recommendation, what is the meaning of this? When I say prior recommendation, normally a bill is introduced in the parliament, meaning Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, then it will go to the President of India. With his signature, it is becoming the act. But some bills require the prior permission of the president. That is also called prior recommendation. When I use the word prior recommendation, before you introduce the bill in the parliament, kindly go to Rashtrapati Bhavan and take the permission from the President of India. It is because Constitution is putting some obligations on the part of the government. Without his consent, you cannot introduce. After introduction, you are discussing and passing, again it will go to the President. That is secondary. But before introduction, it has to go to the President of India. Not every bill, only few bills. And that bill is money bill. Kindly remember, all the money bills will be introduced in the parliament only after the prior recommendation of the president is granted. Very, 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 very important. But when I'm talking to you regarding ordinary bills, if you want to introduce any ordinary bill, president's prior permission is not required. And when it comes to the majority, simple majority is enough to pass the bill. To pass ordinary bill, I require a simple majority. Ordinary bill I may be introducing in the Lok Sabha or I am introducing in the Rajya Sabha. Kindly remember, Lok Sabha may be the first house, Rajya Sabha may be the first house. But it has to go through both the houses, then only it will go to the president. And number two, ordinary bill can be introduced either by a public member or by a private member. Prior recommendation of the president is not required. Simple majority is required. That is clear. If you are getting more than simple majority, it's welcome. But minimum requirement is the simple majority. Just a moment. Now see here. The bill must be passed separately with a simple majority by both the houses. Separately, it should be passed by both the houses. Then it will go to the President of India. In case of deadlock, joint of the Parliament is summoned by the President of India. Now let me tell you what is the meaning of the deadlock. Now see here. So imagine a situation. We have introduced a bill in the Lok Sabha. If the bill is not passed by the Lok Sabha, meaning in the Lok Sabha there is no simple majority for the bill, then the bill is considered to be rejected by the Lok Sabha. If a bill is rejected by the Lok Sabha, it will not go to the Rajya Sabha, if Rajya Sabha is the second house. But imagine a situation, so these are the different people present in two different houses. There are different political parties. Just because a bill is passed in the Lok Sabha, it does not mean that the bill is also accepted by the Rajya Sabha. In the similar manner, if a bill is accepted by the Rajya Sabha, if it is first house, it does not mean that it will also be accepted by the Lok Sabha. Sometimes what will happen, if the bill is rejected by the first house, there is no issue, it will not go to the second house. But if a bill is passed by first house, after it goes to the second house, because of any reason, if the second house rejects the bill, then that situation is called deadlock situation. Deadlock is nothing but a disagreement between the two houses of the parliament. During that time, I cannot say the bill is altogether rejected because the first house has passed the bill. At the same time, I cannot say the bill has been passed because the second house has rejected this. This is a very, very sensitive situation of the deadlock. Constitution understands, the members in the Constituent Assembly knows that this may happen. Hence, they have provided a provision called joint session of the parliament. What is the meaning of this joint session? Normally, if you look at this parliament, Lok Sabha will be sitting separately and Rajya Sabha is sitting separately. Discussions are separate. Introduction of the bills are separate. Discussions are separate. Voting is also separate. But sometimes there may be a situation of deadlock. During that time, the Constitution has permitted the President of India to summon, to organize, to arrange the joint session wherein 545 plus 245 members will be sitting together, discussing together and voting together on a bill which was in deadlock. And that session is called the joint session of the parliament. That is very much mentioned in the Constitution under article number 108. Kindly remember this. Anyway, I'll show you some questions later. So this is the basic idea. That is number one. Number two, if you look at this, meaning is simple. We understood that what is deadlock we have seen. In order to resolve this deadlock, the president is summoning the joint session. In India, since beginning till today, this type of joint session has been taken place for three times. President has used the powers. Okay. Now, so what are these three times? I'll tell you in a clear-cut manner when I talk to you about the President of India. But time being, remember this. Number one. Number two. In the Lok Sabha, you have already seen, you must be watching the television. Lok Sabha, the chairperson is called Speaker. In Rajya Sabha, the chairperson is called the chairman. Normally, this is the situation what is happening. But in the joint session, both the members of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha will be sitting together. Again, there is a necessity of the presiding officer. Presiding officer in the Lok Sabha is the speaker. Presiding officer in the Rajya Sabha is the chairman of the Rajya Sabha. But when it comes to the joint session of the parliament, the Constitution has permitted the speaker to be the presiding officer. Meaning, joint session is presided over by the speaker. Joint session is summoned by the President of India. Joint session is presided over by the speakers. That is the meaning of the joint session. Is that okay? So this is a mechanism that is available for resolving the deadlock. And kindly remember, the deadlock is applicable and available only to the ordinary bills. I'll just show you the document now. Let's go ahead. Look at this. In case of deadlock, Joint session of the parliament is summoned by the president. So, what is the meaning of this deadlock? Look at this. Simple here. Deadlock is a situation wherein a bill is passed by the first house and rejected by the second house. In this case, the president summons the joint session of the parliament where the members of both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha sit together and vote for the bill. If the bill is passed by the simple majority, then the president gives the assent. Otherwise, the bill is considered to be rejected. Hopefully, I'm clear. So these are the points here. Now, next one. Look at this. We have some more points here. Joint sitting is permitted only for the ordinary bills. It is not permitted for the money bills. It is not permitted for the constitution amendment bills. Kindly remember. The ordinary bill can be sent back by the president for reconsideration. What do you mean by this sending back for reconsideration? Kindly remember here. Now we have introduced a bill in the Lok Sabha. It is passed in the Lok Sabha, went to Rajya Sabha, again it is passed in the Rajya Sabha, now it goes to the President of India. Just because it is passed by both the houses of the parliament, it does not mean the bill will be accepted by the President of India. If the President has any objections with relation to any of the bills, any ordinary bill with any proposal, the President may ask the Parliament to reconsider the bill again. He will specify his objections and he will ask the Parliament to modify those areas. But after the bill comes back to the Parliament, after it is reconsidered by both the houses of the Parliament, with or without amendments, with or without modifications, if it goes to the President of India for the second time, the President shall sign and he cannot send back the bill for reconsideration again. Meaning, the President of India can send back a bill for reconsideration not more than one time. Kindly remember this. Not more than one time. It's a very, very important point. Okay? Now, look at this. Ordinary bill can be sent back by the President for reconsideration. If the bill is presented to the President for the second time, then the President must give his assent. I am talking to you only about the ordinary bills, right? Next one is the money bill. Look at this money bill. The prior permission of the President is a must for introducing the money bill. And a money bill must be introduced first only in the Lok Sabha. This is the condition. Ordinary bill you can introduce anywhere, but money bill must be introduced only in the Lok Sabha first. It should be introduced only by a public member and not by a private member. Hopefully you can understand all these points. It will be introduced only by a public member, not by a private member. Simple majority is sufficient to pass the money bill. And the bill must be passed in the Lok Sabha with a simple majority. Rajya Sabha can discuss the bill but cannot vote on the money bill. But the Rajya Sabha must consider the money bill within a period of 14 days. There is no joint session for passing the money bill since Rajya Sabha has no powers to vote the bill. And when it comes to the President of India cannot send back the bill for reconsideration since the money bill was introduced in the Lok Sabha with the prior permission of the President. Kindly remember, we have seen so many points with relation to the money bills. Money bills are so important here, and these money bills are introduced only in the Lok Sabha first. That to do with the prior permission of the President. Once it is passed by the Lok Sabha with a simple majority, just like any other bill, this bill will also go to the Rajya Sabha. But the Constitution of India does not give any permission to the Rajya Sabha to vote on this. At the most, Rajya Sabha can discuss the bill and it can give any suggestions. And everything must be completed within a period of 14 days. After that, it goes to the President of India. Unlike ordinary bills, the President cannot send back the money bills. The reason is simple, because the money bill was introduced only with the prior permission of the President. Hence, there are so many differences between ordinary bills and money bills. And another point I told you already, for passing money bills, there is no provision for the joint session because Constitution has not given any power to the Rajya Sabha to vote on a bill. When you don't have the power to vote, there is no point in having the bill for joint session. Hence, it will be going to the President of India. It will be signed by the President. So that is the meaning of the money bills. Next one, still go here. Last one is there. Look at this. Constitution amendment bills. It can be introduced by a public member or by a private member. Kindly see here. You please watch this for 2 or 3 or 4 times. That all depends on you. But you must be clear and specific about the differences between ordinary bills, money bills, and the Constitution amendment bills. So this can be introduced by a public member or by a private member. Prior permission of the President is not necessary. Prior permission is necessary only for money bills. And these bills must be passed by both the houses separately with a special majority. We have seen ordinary bill, simple majority, money bill, simple majority. Constitution amendment bills must be passed with the so-called the special majority. And what is a special majority? I told you already. And one more point is there. I'll just show it to you. You can just have a look at this. What is a special majority? Look at this. The bill has to be adopted by 2/3 of the members present and voting, and with a majority of not less than 50% of the total strength of the House. So this is the basic idea. So the meaning is, already I have explained you. That is the meaning here. Look at this next point. In case of deadlock, there is no provision for the joint session. What is the meaning of this? Joint session is permitted only for the ordinary bills, no joint session for the money bills. Since Constitution amendment bills are considered to be important, it should be compulsorily considered by both the houses. Because of any reason, if the house number 2 is not accepting the proposal of any constitution amendment, then they cannot go for the joint session of the parliament. Okay, in the similar manner, look at this next point. The President cannot send back the bill for reconsideration, and the President must give his assent. So we understood that the President can send back only ordinary bills for reconsideration. He cannot send back money bills. He cannot send back constitution amendment bills. Both the bills must be signed by the President of India immediately. Look at this. In case of federal powers, a bill after passed by the Parliament must get the assent of the at least half of the states with a simple majority. So this is a separate concept. I'll tell you when I come to this area. Now, look at this. A constitution amendment bill that seeks to set up a body which will draw the funds from the Constitution Consolidated Fund of India. Now, look at this. So I'll explain you the meaning of this one later, but just to read this one. There is one article called Article 117. Of course, this is too early for me to talk about this. But anyways, because it is already there, you just read it. But when I come to that area, I'll tell you what is the meaning of this. Article 117 clause 3 says, a bill, if enacted and brought into operation, would involve expenditure from the Consolidated Fund of India, shall not be passed by either houses of the Parliament unless the President has recommended to the House the consideration of the bill procedure generally. Okay, when I come to this topic, I'll tell you. Most probably, while discussing about part 1 of the Constitution, then I will tell you. Then I will tell you what exactly is the meaning of this. But otherwise, We have seen about the introduction to the Constitution of India. These are the fundamental points what I wanted to tell you. So hence the yesterday's class and today's class is the most important class for us to understand majority of the areas in our future classes. This will be helpful for you to understand the Indian Constitution thoroughly, so that the preparation for the Indian polity will be over, and some areas in the general essay will be covered, and some areas in the ethics in administration that is also covered, and more than 70% of the syllabus in the public administration will also be covered with this. Hence, this one area will be giving strength and confidence on remaining areas also. And when we come to those areas, it becomes so easy for you to understand so many things. Okay, so that's all for today, and I'll be stopping it now. So tomorrow we'll take up some other topic, and before taking up some other topic, I'll show you some questions, and after solving the questions, we'll go ahead. Okay, so thank you so much for being with me this morning. See you in the evening for current affairs classes. Thank you so much. Take care and have a very good day.